Welcome everyone to Formula Plus channel. The Red Bull team has had a dream start to the 2023 season with 5 wins in 5 races, with 4 1-2 finishes, including a victory in the only sprint race that was disputed. This dominant performance led us to wonder, is this one of the best season starts in history for a team? In this video, we will review the Formula 1 teams that have had the best starts to the season, considering the first 5 races. Which team has scored the highest percentage of possible points? Let's get started. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on our other platforms so you don't miss any of our F1 content. In the 10th place, we have McLaren in the 2007 season, with an efficiency percentage of 84.44%. The English team surprised at the beginning of that season, with a much higher performance than the previous year and the expectations they had. Between Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, they achieved a total of 76 points out of 90 possible in the first 5 races, with only 2 wins. The key was that their drivers achieved 9 out of 10 possible podiums. It was an excellent start to the year for McLaren, but it ended up turning into a nightmare for the team with internal problems, the espionage scandal, disqualification from the Constructors' Championship, and a driver's title that incredibly slipped away in Brazil. In the 9th place is Red Bull in the 2011 season, with a percentage of 86.05%. After the title won in 2010, the Austrian team doubled down and had a spectacular start to their championship defense. That year, Red Bull drivers Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber achieved a total of 185 points out of 215 possible, with 4 wins by the German and 7 podiums between them. 2011 was one of the best seasons for the Red Bull team, with both championships won without any major difficulties. In the 8th position, we find Ferrari in the 2004 season, with a percentage of 91.11%. Along with 2002, one of the best years for the historic Ferrari team that achieved 5 consecutive titles with Michael Schumacher. That year, the German driver started the season with 5 consecutive wins, which, added to the 32 points achieved by his teammate Rubens Barrichello, gives us a total of 82 points out of 90 possible. 2004 was probably the pinnacle of an era dominated by the Italian team. Michael Schumacher won the championship without leaving any options for his rivals, and the team won their 6th consecutive Constructors' Championship. In 7th place is Mercedes in the 2014 season, with a percentage of 91.63%. At the beginning of the hybrid era, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg monopolized the wins in the first 5 races, achieving a total of 197 points out of 215 possible. The only thing that prevented them from a perfect start was Hamilton's retirement in the Australian Grand Prix. A start that not only marked the beginning of a year dominated by the Mercedes team but also an era where the German team won 7 Drivers' Championships and 8 Constructors' Championships. In 6th place, we have Williams in the 1992 season, with a percentage of 92.5%. It was a historic year for Frank's team, where they produced a technological revolution in Formula 1, with one of the most advanced cars in history, thanks to the development of concepts such as active suspension and traction control. The start of the season already showed that Williams was one step ahead of the competition, with 5 wins from Mansell in 5 races, in addition to his teammate Riccardo Patrese 4 second places, for a total of 74 points out of 80 possible. Only a mistake from the Italian in Barcelona prevented a perfect start for the team. Williams dominated the 1992 season, allowing Mansell to finally win the coveted championship. In 5th place is Ferrari in the 1976 season, with a percentage of 93.33%. In a historic season of Formula 1, on which the movie Rush was based, the start was a dream for the then reigning world champions. Ferrari, with Niki Lauda and Clay Regazzoni, won 4 out of the first 5 races, for a total of 42 points out of 45 possible. It should be considered that until 1979, only the best car of each team scored for the Constructors' Championship. The Italians were very close to achieving that perfect start, and this is further emphasized when we see that the only Grand Prix they did not win was Spain, but initially Niki Lauda was declared the winner, after James Hunt was disqualified. Finally, the victory was reinstated to the McLaren driver after an appeal. When Ferrari and Lauda were on their way to the title, Nicky's accident occurred, followed by his incredible recovery and the historic finale in Japan that gave the title to James Hunt. The team still won the Constructors' Championship. In fourth place, we find Mercedes in the 2015 season, with a percentage of 93.95%. After an incredible 2014, the German team did not let their guard down and maintained their dominance in the 2015 season. At the beginning of the year, they won 4 of the first 5 Grand Prix races, 3 by Lewis Hamilton and 1 by Nico Rosberg. Their drivers had a perfect attendance at the podium and only did not win in Malaysia, when they were defeated by Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari. They finished with a total of 202 points out of 215 possible. Although Vettel's victory in Malaysia gave hope for a close year, Mercedes did not give their rivals any chances, maintaining their dominance from 2014. In third place, we have Ferrari in the 1961 season, with a percentage of 95%. As in the case of 1976, it should be considered that only the best car of each team scored for the Constructors' Championship. In 1961, Ferrari had an excellent start to the season, with 4 wins and 1 second place in the first 5 races, distributed among their drivers Phil Hill, Wolfgang von Trips, Richie Ginther, and Giancarlo Baghetti. They only did not win the opening race of the season in Monaco, when Ginther finished second to Stirling Moss's Lotus. It was a total of 38 points out of 40 possible. Ferrari would eventually win the Drivers' Championship with Phil Hill and the Constructors' Championship, but in tragic circumstances due to the fatal accident of von Trips. In second place, we have the Red Bull team for this 2023 season, with a percentage of 95.32%. Seeing the team's position on this list allows us to grasp the incredible work that Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and the Austrian team have been doing. By scoring 224 out of the possible 235 points, they only lost 11 points, 8 with Checo's 5th place in Australia, 2 points for fastest laps, and 1 point for Max's 3rd place in the Baku sprint race. In first place, we have the Mercedes team for the 2019 season with an impressive percentage of 98.64%. That year, Mercedes drivers Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas started the season with 5 1-2 finishes in the first 5 races, 3 wins for Lewis and 2 for the Finn. If it weren't for the introduction of the point for the fastest lap that year, they would have achieved a perfect record. By losing that point in 3 Grand Prix races, they achieved a total of 217 points out of the possible 220. 2019 was another great year for the German team, where they secured their 6th consecutive championship without much trouble. These are the teams that have had the best season starts in Formula One in terms of their effectiveness. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.